Hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar on getting started with thisislanguage.com. I won't take up too much of your time today. We're just going to look at how to get your account set up and ready for the new school year, focusing on the easiest way to get your students set up and working on thisislanguage.com. My name is Laura, and I'm Content Manager here at thisislanguage.com. I want to try and keep this webinar nice and short. I know you all have a lot on your plates at the moment, so I'll aim for around 10 minutes from me, followed by 5 minutes at the end for any questions that you might have. It's worth letting you know that once we've finished, I will send round links to instructions for everything that we cover here today, so please don't worry about taking notes. And just one last point before we get going, the thisislanguage.com team are working remotely. This means that I'm hosting this webinar on my home Wi-Fi. If there are any technical issues, just let me know by using the chat function and I'll try and sort it out for you. Right, here we go. So today we're going to look at how to archive last year's classes and get rid of the students, how to set up this year's classes, and how to add your students into those classes using a spreadsheet. By the end of this webinar, you'll have all of the information you need to go ahead and set up your classes for the new school year. Just before we start, I want to point out one thing. Students only need one thisislanguage.com account, no matter how many languages they study or classes they're a part of. This is really important to remember, and the good news is that it makes it so much easier for students to remember their login details. I'm going to be using screenshots from the site today, rather than accessing the site itself. This is purely for bandwidth reasons, but everything that you see here today is exactly the same as what you will see when you log into thisislanguage.com. So, I want to start by showing you how to archive students who no longer need their thisislanguage.com accounts, and make room for the students who are new to our website this year. This is a really important step in the process, and when done correctly, will make the whole process much smoother. When you log into the site, you'll see your name in the top right-hand corner of the page. Just click on your name and select Students from the drop-down menu. On the next page, use the filter at the top of the page to view either all of the students in your school or to view them class by class. Your students will then appear in alphabetical order by surname. All you need to do from here is check the boxes to the right-hand side of any students who no longer need their thisislanguage.com accounts and hit the green Archive Selected button at the top of the screen. You'll then be asked to confirm your selection. Just hit confirm and you're good to go. And it's as easy as that. That's those student accounts you no longer need removed, and you've got lots of space for your new students. Now that you've made the room, it's time to set up this year's classes. It's really important to stress that there is more than one way of doing this. We've worked hard to make the student upload functionality as flexible as possible for you. Today, I'm going to show you what I think is the simplest way, so that you can crack on and get set up as soon as possible. There are two stages to this method. First, we create the classes, and then we add the students into the classes. Step 1, adding classes. To get to the classes page, just click on your name in the top right-hand corner and select Classes from the drop-down menu. Then, click on the green Add a Class button. You'll then be asked to fill in the class details, including class name, language, year group, and owner or teacher of the class. Here, you can also choose whether or not your class can use our snail function. This function lets the students slow our videos down by 1/3. Not so much as to distort the audio, but just enough to make the videos slightly easier to understand. Once you've entered all of the necessary details, click Add a Class. On the page that follows, rather than adding the students for this one class, I suggest you click on the Classes button in the left-hand menu to return to your class list and repeat these steps until you have added all of the classes that you need. At this point, you will be ready to move on to step 2, adding students into the classes you've created all in one go. On to step 2. Click on your name again in the top right-hand corner, and this time select Students from the drop-down menu. Here, you select which method you'd like to use to add students to your account. Today, I'm going to show you how to use the Advanced Student Upload, as it allows you to add all of the students in your school all in one go using a spreadsheet. There is a lot of text on this page, but please don't worry about reading it now. This page just gives you a template spreadsheet to use and detailed step-by-step instructions on how to fill it in and how to upload it. By including the names of the classes you created in step 1, you'll find that the students are magically added into their classes once you upload the spreadsheet. I do have a couple of top tips for a seamless student upload, although again, these are not set in stone, there are other methods. Tip number 1 is to use students' school email addresses. This is advantageous because they already know what it is, so you can just say log in with your school email address. It also makes it easier for them to remember their login details. Similarly, tip number 2 is to give every student the same password to begin with. This will make it really easy to get everyone logged in first time round, after which they can create a more secure password for themselves. It's important to note that the password that you give to students in the spreadsheet must be at least 8 characters long, or else the spreadsheet won't upload. Tip number 3 is to make sure that your spreadsheet looks nice and ordinary. Formatting in a spreadsheet can sometimes cause problems, so avoid things like colours, fonts, and unusual layouts. Just remember, the spreadsheet needs to look like the picture on the instructions page. My fourth and final tip is to make sure that your spreadsheet of students is in one of these file formats, .xlsx or .csv. Don't worry, this is really easy to do. When you save your spreadsheet, you'll see the file format right underneath the box where you enter the file's name. Just make sure that this box says either .xlsx or .csv. Click Save, and you're good to go. All that's left to do is upload the file and then finish the process by clicking on the green Upload button. I'm aware that we've been through all of this quite quickly, but as I said, I will be sending around a text version of everything that I've covered here today, so that you can refer to it as you start this process. And just like that, your students will be able to log in. They just need to enter the username and password that you've given them into the login screen. Click Login, and they'll then be asked to create a more memorable and secure password for themselves. And that's it. Right, I've taken up enough of your time now. It's over to you. You should see a little Q&A button in the toolbar for the webinar. If you type your questions there, I'll try to answer them in the order they come in. I'm also going to pop our contact email address up on the screen. If you do need to leave now, or if you can't think of any questions at the moment, but you do have some in future, you can reach us always on skills@thisislanguage.com. If you are leaving us now, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.